Hello again, everyone. We're back at the cabin building site, Trapper Cabin, and thought I'd go through my tools, mostly just hand tools. I also have, just so you know, a couple of chainsaws available to me. A big Husqvarna and a decent sized Sachs Dolmar. And then, but the hand tools would be the hardest part of the whole job. Now I'm missing one. I ordered one. I couldn't find an old version of it that it was reasonably priced. It's a gouge chisel. It's similar to like a gouge you use in a lathe, but it's actually got a chisel end on the back, so you can beat on it. And I'm going to be using that to take my notches out once I get it. It should be a lot nicer looking notch. It should make a decent notch, similar to what they used to do in the old days. So first off, I'll start with the oldest pieces, I guess. Would probably be these draw knives or draw shaves, whatever you call them. This one here actually is stamped. Of course, now I can't see it. It's 1889, I think, or 1884. It's all full of pine pitch and pine tar, so I can't see it, but that's quite old. And my dad had that in the barn, or back in the shed, and it probably was used originally when they built the barn. Our barn on the property was built like 1917, 1918, along with the old part of the house, so it's quite old. This is a little newer draw knife, I believe, smaller, you know, but quite sharp, and it's good for pulling bark. Interesting tool here that you don't see very often is this one. This is called a log spud, and it's kind of an axe, kind of not. You slip this under the bark, you can peel it. Works really good on popple. It actually doesn't work too bad on this white pine either. And then of course here's an old square, rusty old square, and that's all we need for that. Level wise, I do have a small 2-foot level, and of course the string level and some string, and measuring tool. So the newest axe I could find, and I pretty much have all splitting axes, so I actually had to purchase this one. I've got a couple splitting axes, but they're a little big, and this one was surprisingly good. I've used it to pound nails already and chop with it. It's a Gerber. It stays nice and sharp. I know it's not a very expensive axe, but surprisingly good. So I'm not complaining about that at all. So that works out fine there. And of course, to move logs around, I broke down and I had to buy Warren Winch Pulls-All. And it does. It pulls nice. Of course, I had to get a generator for it too, but I figured the generator work out okay either way. So the Pulls-All, of course, I can hook it to my tripod, pick logs up to set them in place. I can hook it to a tree. I've got a bunch of straps, and I'm not going to show you the generator. It is on my, I have a review on it on my web channel, or I mean on my YouTube channel. That's a Champion inverter, and it works fine, for this kind of operation. And of course, it'll be good for camping when I get that far. Good for housekeeping at the cabin. So, because here I can't get any electricity. We're too far off. We're too far away from the road. I mean, we're every direction. We're a mile, and then a couple directions we're 2 miles from any roads, any power. So, which is nice and problematic. So it makes it off grid, and but that's cool. That's what I wanted. So, but it does make it hard to bring stuff in. There's no question about it. But anyway, the next step in the cabin build, probably try to get the floor in. I have floor joists, available. I scrounged them. This is an add-on here. This is one more tool that I needed that I didn't have when I started my project. This is a large gouge. They call it a 90 millimeter gouge. as you can see. It's made, of course, to help hammer out your notches. Well, I couldn't find one anywhere in the United States. I couldn't even find a Chinese-made version. So I actually ordered this from the Ukraine, and I'm pretty dang happy with the quality. It's a standard chisel, all hammered out and then shined up, sharpened, and then it's got a ring on the back. It's made for a mallet. Well, I didn't buy the wooden mallet. I'll use the big rubber mallet. It'll work just as well. I tried it already. Works really good. So that is the last piece of equipment that I plan on using basically in this cabin build. So I just wanted to add that in just to show everybody what it looks like. Believe it or not, it was $34. I found antique ones that were similar. Of course, they're 100 years old or better, and they were $100 or more because they're antiques. So I figured I'll just spend it and buy. It seems like a lot for a chisel, but if it's something you need and you can't get, you don't have a lot of choice. So that's just one little thing I did buy for this build project. So